Dealers are practically begging people to drive these cars off the lot, slashing prices, throwing in freebies, even stretching financing for 7 years. But here's the shocking truth. Owning one could drain tens of thousands from your wallet in just 3 years. Some wear luxury badges. Others are already being killed off, yet they keep fooling buyers every single day. So, why are people still falling for them? And which car tops the list as the worst financial trap in America right now? Number 13. The Chevrolet Trax is one of those vehicles that looks harmless at first glance. Cheap sticker price, modern styling, and just enough tech features to make a casual buyer think it's a safe bet. But under the surface, the Trax is a classic example of how automakers cut corners. Its 1.2-liter turbocharged engine barely musters enough power to handle daily driving, making highway merges and quick passes a nerve-wracking experience. What should be a reliable city runabout instead feels underpowered and unsafe the moment real speed is required. That alone puts it at a disadvantage against rivals like the Honda HR-V or Toyota Corolla Cross, which deliver more power and smoother driving experiences at nearly the same price. Where things get truly concerning is reliability. The Trax has developed a notorious reputation for early transmission problems, with repair frequency data showing failures at nearly twice the rate of competing models. Many of these issues surface just after the warranty expires, saddling owners with thousands in repair bills on a car that wasn't exactly cheap to begin with. Safety scores only pile onto the frustration. IIHS crash testing highlights weaknesses in small overlap collisions and poor headlight performance, two categories that directly affect real-world driving safety. For a vehicle that Chevrolet markets as a practical, budget-friendly choice, these gaps in reliability and protection are hard to overlook. And then comes the financial punch that seals its spot on this list: depreciation. Wholesale auction data shows the Trax loses nearly 45% of its value in just 3 years. That means a $21,000 Trax quickly tumbles to around $12,000 while you're still making payments, leaving owners underwater on their loans. Meanwhile, competitors not only hold their value better, but also provide more interior space, better fuel efficiency, and stronger long-term reliability. The truth is simple. The Trax is an affordable stepping stone into SUV ownership. It's a cleverly disguised money pit, and buyers who skip the research often don't realize it until it's far too late. Number 12. The Infiniti Q50 is the definition of a car that's living on borrowed time. Once marketed as a sleek, performance-oriented luxury sedan, it's now a relic from another era. The platform dates back to 2014, and in a segment where rivals like BMW and Mercedes refresh their models every few years, the Q50 feels ancient. Step inside, and the dated dual-screen infotainment system is a mess. Two clunky operating systems running side by side, confusing owners and dragging down the overall experience. Even with Infiniti's efforts to modernize it with small updates, the Q50 struggles to hide just how old it really is. Beyond the outdated tech, the numbers tell a devastating story. Sales have collapsed by more than 60% since 2021, leaving analysts wondering why Infiniti still keeps it alive. Owners who take the plunge face steep depreciation, with a well-equipped Q50 losing over $30,000 in just 3 years, nearly 15 percentage points worse than competitors like the BMW 3 Series or Lexus IS. Reliability is no saving grace either. Common problems with the Q50's electronic steering system and electrical components often hit just after warranties expire, leaving owners with repair bills that can easily reach into the thousands. Add higher than average maintenance costs, and the so-called luxury experience quickly starts to feel like a liability. The insult is that despite its luxury badge and premium price tag, the Q50 doesn't deliver where it matters. Its interior quality falls behind not only other luxury sedans, but even some mainstream models from Mazda and Honda, cars that cost far less yet feel more refined. When you can buy a brand new Accord with better tech, stronger reliability, and more polished design for $15,000 less, it's hard to justify the Q50's existence. What was once a strong contender in the luxury sedan segment has become a financial sinkhole, appealing only to buyers unaware of how many superior alternatives are out there. Number 11. Few cars highlight the gap between image and reality like the Maserati Ghibli. On the surface, it promises Italian flair, exclusivity, and the thrill of owning a luxury badge steeped in heritage. But behind that Trident logo lies one of the worst financial decisions a buyer can make. The Ghibli starts at nearly $80,000 and can easily push close to $100,000 with options, yet the cabin is littered with parts borrowed straight from Chrysler and Jeep models. Reviewers have pointed out the same switches and buttons you'd find in a Jeep Cherokee, dressed up with slightly nicer leather. For a car that's supposed to embody Italian craftsmanship, the illusion collapses the moment you step inside. The financial pain only deepens after purchase. Depreciation on the Ghibli is nothing short of catastrophic. Auction data shows that a 3-year-old model retains just 32% of its original value. That means buyers are losing around $60,000 in the first 36 months of ownership, making it one of the worst performing cars in America in terms of resale. Reliability doesn't provide any comfort either. The Ghibli is notorious for electrical system failures, and its ZF 8-speed transmission, reliable in other cars, suffers from unusually high failure rates in Maserati setup. Repair costs routinely exceed $2,500 per visit, and problems often surface once the warranty is gone. What makes the Ghibli story even more frustrating is that for the same money, buyers could own cars that do everything better. The BMW M5, Audi RS7, or Mercedes-AMG E63 all deliver superior performance, more advanced technology, stronger build quality, and far higher resale values. Owning a Maserati should mean standing out for the right reasons, but with the Ghibli, it usually means endless repair bills and a resale curve that falls off a cliff. In the end, the Ghibli isn't just a poor choice. It's a financial trap wrapped in an exotic badge, fooling buyers who think price alone equals prestige. Number 10. The Nissan Murano is a perfect example of a car that has overstayed its welcome. Launched with some fanfare in the mid-2000s as a stylish, comfortable crossover, the Murano hasn't kept up with the competition. Its exterior design, largely unchanged since 2015, feels stuck in the past, bland, awkward, and easily lost in a sea of better-looking rivals. Step inside, and things don't improve much. Interior materials feel cheaper than competitors, especially when compared to crossovers like the Hyundai Santa Fe or Mazda CX-50, which offer far more refinement at nearly the same price. The Murano should be a family-friendly midsize SUV, but in a market full of strong options, it offers little reason to stand out. Reliability is where the Murano really takes a hit. Like many other Nissans of the past decade, it's plagued by problems with its continuously variable transmission, CVT. Data from NHTSA complaints and extended warranty companies shows alarming failure rates, with many CVT giving out just after warranties expire. When they do, the repair bill can exceed $4,000, often leaving owners frustrated and financially trapped in a car they thought was reliable. And while Nissan emphasizes comfort and safety in its marketing, consumer surveys consistently place the Murano below average in both categories, highlighting weak driving dynamics and lower satisfaction compared to its rivals. Then there's the resale value, or lack of it. Depreciation data shows the Murano loses more than half of its value in just 3 years. Roughly $22,000 gone from a $40,000 purchase. That makes it one of the worst investments in the midsize SUV market, especially when alternatives like the Toyota Venza, Mazda CX-5, or Hyundai Santa Fe hold their value far better. Buyers who skip research and settle for the Murano often regret it when they see how quickly it sinks in resale, reliability, and overall ownership experience. In a segment defined by tough competition, the Murano simply fails to justify its existence. Number 9. The Volkswagen Arteon was supposed to be VW's answer to the sleek, premium 4-door coupe market. It had the looks, sharp lines, a fastback profile, and just enough flair to catch attention in the showroom. But the problem was never about style, it was about substance. Priced at more than $43,000 and often climbing past $50,000 with options, the Arteon found itself in a no-man's land. Too expensive for Volkswagen loyalists who expected value, and not prestigious enough to lure luxury buyers away from BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. From the start, it was a car looking for an audience, and it never found one. The financial side of owning an Arteon is just as painful as its sales numbers suggest. Depreciation on this model has been brutal. After 3 years, it retains only about 38% of its original value. That's a staggering $30,000 loss in 36 months. Making it one of the worst performing cars in its segment. Reliability doesn't offer any safety net either. The Arteon suffers from common VW weak points, including failing water pumps, problematic panoramic sunroofs, and electrical glitches that become expensive headaches. once the warranty is up. Independent shop data shows average repair bills often exceeding $1,800 per incident, which only deepens the financial hit. Even within Volkswagen's own family, the Arteon doesn't make sense. For nearly the same money, buyers could step up to an Audi A5 Sportback, a car with similar styling but far more prestige and resale value. Or, if you're already spending $50,000, it's hard to argue against a BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, or Mercedes C-Class, all of which deliver better performance, stronger brand appeal, and far fewer compromises. Sales have collapsed to just a few hundred units per quarter, and VW has already announced the Arteon's discontinuation. In the end, the Arteon wasn't a bad-looking car, it was just a bad deal, one that combined premium pricing with mainstream problems and left buyers holding the bag. Number 8. The Mitsubishi Mirage has the unfortunate distinction of being America's cheapest new car, and in this case, you truly get what you pay for. With its tiny 78 horsepower 3-cylinder engine, the Mirage is dangerously underpowered for modern roads. Acceleration from 0 to 60 takes more than 12 seconds, which makes highway merging and overtaking genuinely stressful. What should be an affordable commuter car instead feels like a rolling safety hazard, and despite its weak performance, the Mirage doesn't even deliver the strong fuel economy you'd expect from such a small engine. Rivals like the Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic often match or beat it in real-world conditions, while offering far more comfort and refinement. Safety is another glaring issue. While Mitsubishi markets the Mirage as a sensible entry-level car, crash test results tell a far darker story. The IIHS gave it poor ratings in several critical categories, including small overlap crash tests that simulate real-world accidents. In other words, the Mirage doesn't just feel flimsy. It is flimsy when put to the test. Add in its low-quality interior materials, outdated design, and minimal features, and you're left with a car that feels closer to a punishment than a purchase. Even budget-conscious buyers notice the compromises, which is why dealers often sell Mirages for 12 to 18% below MSRP just to move them off the lot. The final insult is that better alternatives exist even within the same price range. Slightly used models like the Honda Fit, Toyota Yaris, or Kia Rio cost about the same as a new Mirage, but deliver vastly better reliability, safety, and overall ownership satisfaction. The Mirage has seen sales collapse by more than half in recent years, and for good reason. It's an outdated, unsafe, and unsatisfying car that lures buyers with its low price, but punishes them with every mile. For those who think buying the cheapest option saves money, the Mirage proves the opposite. Sometimes the bargain is the most expensive mistake of all. Number 7. The Lincoln Nautilus is the automotive equivalent of putting on a tuxedo over sweatpants, polished on the outside but ordinary underneath. At its core, the Nautilus is little more than a Ford Edge wearing luxury branding and carrying a $15,000 premium for the privilege. Buyers drawn in by Lincoln's marketing expect a refined, high-end SUV, but what they actually get is a rebranded family hauler with the same platforms, engines, and components as its mainstream sibling. For shoppers willing to look closely, the illusion doesn't hold up, and disappointment is inevitable. Sales figures confirm that reality. In a luxury SUV market that continues to grow, the Nautilus is moving in the opposite direction, with sales sliding and satisfaction surveys ranking it well below German and Japanese rivals. Depreciation makes the blow even worse. Auction data shows that a 3-year-old Nautilus retains only about 46% of its value. That translates to around $30,000 lost in just 3 years for a well-equipped model. Reliability is another sore spot. Extended warranty data points to recurring issues with the infotainment system, electrical components, and power equipment. Repairs often cost more than $1,500 per incident, and they tend to show up just as the warranty runs out. What's most frustrating is how many better options exist for the same money. For the price of a Nautilus, buyers could step into a BMW X3, Mercedes GLC, or Lexus RX, vehicles that deliver true luxury experiences, superior reliability, and much stronger resale values. Even within Ford's own lineup, a fully loaded Edge Titanium offers almost the same features at a significantly lower cost. The Nautilus isn't the worst SUV ever made, but it's one of the most overpriced, failing to deliver the premium experience its badge promises. In the end, it's a reminder that luxury branding means nothing if the product underneath doesn't measure up. Number 6. The Chrysler 300 is a relic from another era, a sedan whose roots trace back to the early 2000s and the old Daimler-Chrysler partnership. While competitors have continuously refreshed their platforms, the 300 has limped along with only minor updates that can't hide its outdated bones. The design feels heavy, the technology lags behind by at least a generation, and its safety features look primitive compared to what modern sedans offer. Driving one is a reminder of how far the automotive world has moved on, while Chrysler clings to a design that should have been retired years ago. For buyers, the 300's biggest problem isn't its age, it's its reliability. Extended warranty claims show this sedan suffers from chronic issues with its electrical systems, transmissions, and suspension components. Failures often occur between 60,000 and 90,000 miles, right when most owners expect a car to still be dependable. Repairs aren't cheap either, frequently running over $2,000 per incident. Add to that a depreciation curve that wipes out about 60% of the car's value in just 3 years, and the financial toll becomes brutal. Owners of higher trims can easily lose $30,000 before they've even finished paying off their loans. Safety is no bright spot either. The 300 size might give the illusion of protection, but crash test data tells another story. Small overlap crash performance is weak, and pedestrian safety scores are below average, making the car less safe than many smaller, more modern vehicles. Chrysler itself has admitted the writing is on the wall, with multiple announcements about discontinuing the 300. For buyers who step into one today, it's not just an outdated car, it's a rolling liability. In a world where competitors like the Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, and even Kia's Stinger offer more safety, technology, and reliability, the 300 is proof that nostalgia can be an expensive mistake. Number 5. The Infiniti QX60 is marketed as a premium three-row family hauler, but beneath the surface, it's little more than a dressed-up Nissan Pathfinder with the luxury price tag. Buyers lured in by Infiniti's promise of refinement often find themselves staring at the same platforms, engines, and components used in Nissan's mainstream lineup. For a vehicle that starts well above $50,000 and higher trims, the shared DNA becomes painfully obvious, and the illusion of luxury quickly fades. Owners expecting a true competitor to the Acura MDX or Lexus RX often end up disappointed once they realize how little separates the QX60 from its cheaper sibling. The numbers make its case even worse. Depreciation is brutal, with a well-equipped QX60 losing around 58% of its value within just 3 years, translating to more than $35,000 gone before the loan is even halfway paid off. Reliability is another ticking time bomb. The QX60 suffers from the same CVT transmission issues that have haunted Nissan for years, and repair costs often climb past $5,000 once problems appear, usually just outside of warranty coverage. Electrical system glitches and infotainment malfunctions only add to the frustration, and extended warranty data confirms these issues are far more common than segment averages. What stings the most is how many better options exist for the same money. For the price of a QX60, buyers could have an Acura MDX with sharper performance, a Lexus RX L with legendary reliability, or even a Genesis GV80 that offers cutting-edge tech and premium build quality. Even the Nissan Pathfinder itself represents a smarter buy, since the differences between the two are mostly cosmetic. The QX60 doesn't fail because it's the worst car in its segment. It fails because it's overpriced, underdelivers, and exposes just how thin Infiniti's luxury disguise has become. Number 4. The Nissan Titan entered the full-size truck market with the hope of challenging America's heavyweights, Ford, Chevy, Ram, and Toyota. But instead of carving out a niche, it ended up as an afterthought. On paper, the Titan looks competitive, but when you stack it up against rivals, it falls short in nearly every category. It doesn't tow more, haul more, or offer better technology, and its fuel economy lags behind as well. In a segment where brand loyalty is strong and buyers demand capability, the Titan simply offered no compelling reason to exist. Even Nissan dealerships struggled to move them, often relying on steep discounts just to clear inventory. The financial side of Titan ownership is even worse. Depreciation has been brutal, with 3-year-old models retaining only about 45% of their value. That means buyers of well-equipped trims often see $30,000 vanish in resale within a few years. Reliability hasn't helped its case either. Warranty and consumer data reveal recurring problems with the Titan's differentials, braking systems, and electrical components. Once warranties expire, These issues become costly, with repairs often topping $2,000 per incident. For buyers hoping to get long-term durability from their trucks, the Titan has been one disappointment after another. The final nail in the coffin is Nissan's own decision to discontinue the Titan after the 2024 model year. In the hyper-competitive world of full-size pickups, Nissan waved the white flag, leaving owners to worry about long-term parts availability and resale value. Compare that to the Ford F-150, Ram 1500, or Toyota Tundra, trucks with massive followings, deep aftermarket support, and proven track records, and it's easy to see why the Titan never stood a chance. In the end, it's not just a poor-selling pickup, it's a failed experiment that proved building a full-size truck without delivering best-in-class performance is a recipe for disaster. Number 3. The Toyota C-HR is proof that even reliable brands can stumble when they chase style over substance. At first glance, the C-HR looks bold and modern, with sharp lines and a coupe-like roofline aimed at younger buyers. But once you get behind the wheel, the problems become clear. It's marketed as a crossover, yet offers no all-wheel drive option, low ground clearance, and less interior space than a compact sedan. Rear visibility is poor thanks to the sloping roof, and the cramped back seat makes it a tough sell as a practical family car. For a company that built its reputation on sensible, well-rounded vehicles, the C-HR feels like a major misstep. Performance is another sore spot. The C-HR's 144 horsepower engine, paired with a continuously variable transmission, leaves it sluggish and uninspiring. Reaching highway speeds takes more than 11 seconds, making merging and passing maneuvers stressful. This isn't just about driver enjoyment. It raises genuine safety concerns, especially on fast-moving roads. Sales numbers reflect that reality, with demand falling by nearly 70% since its introduction. Even Toyota dealers have struggled to sell the C-HR, often resorting to heavy discounts just to move units off the lot. In a lineup that includes the RAV4 and Corolla Cross, both more practical and efficient, the C-HR's flaws became impossible to ignore. Ultimately, the C-HR's downfall was its failure to answer a clear question: who is this car for? As a crossover, it lacked utility. As a compact car, it was overpriced and underpowered. Toyota quietly discontinued the C-HR in North America after the 2022 model year, letting the Corolla Cross take its place and fix many of its weaknesses. When even a brand as trusted as Toyota admits defeat, it speaks volumes. The C-HR is a reminder that good design can't mask fundamental flaws, and in a segment full of smart, versatile options, a confused identity will always be a deal breaker. Number 2. The Cadillac XT4 was supposed to be Cadillac's ticket into the booming luxury compact crossover segment. On paper, it checked the right boxes: premium badge, sharp styling, and a price tag starting just under $40,000. But once buyers got inside, the cracks showed immediately. The XT4 borrows heavily from General Motors' mainstream parts bin, and it doesn't take long for owners to notice. Switchgear feels cheap, interior plastics fall short of expectations, and the overall build quality lags behind both European rivals and even some non-luxury competitors, like Mazda's CX-30. Instead of feeling like a scaled-down Escalade, the XT4 feels like a dressed-up Chevy Equinox. The financial hit is just as disappointing as the ownership experience. Depreciation hammers XT4 owners, with 3-year-old models retaining only about 43% of their original value. That translates to a staggering $25,000 loss in just 36 months, one of the worst performances in the luxury crossover category. Reliability issues make matters worse. Owners report recurring problems with electrical systems, infotainment malfunctions, and the turbocharged engine itself, failures that often cost thousands once the warranty expires. Over 5 years, maintenance costs on the XT4 average more than 30% higher than rivals like the Lexus UX, adding yet another layer of financial pain. What makes the XT4 especially frustrating is how many better alternatives exist for the same money. The Audi Q3, BMW X1, and Mercedes GLA all deliver stronger performance, higher quality interiors, and far better resale value. Even outside the luxury badge game, a fully loaded Mazda CX-30 or Hyundai Tucson can match or beat the XT4 in refinement and features for thousands less. Cadillac's gamble to chase the crossover craze ended up producing a vehicle that feels half-hearted and overpriced, and buyers who fall for the badge often realize too late that they could have had something far better for the same money. Number 1. The Jaguar E-Pace had all the makings of a hit on paper: a stylish design, the prestige of the Jaguar badge, and a spot in the hot luxury crossover market. But instead of delivering a competitive entry, Jaguar produced one of the most disappointing vehicles in its class. Starting around $48,000, the E-Pace is priced higher than similarly equipped rivals from BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. Unfortunately, the driving experience doesn't match the price. Performance is merely average, cabin quality is hit or miss, and Jaguar's attempt at entry-level luxury feels more like a compromise than a true premium product. Where the E-Pace truly earns its notorious reputation is in depreciation. Wholesale auction data shows that after just 3 years, the E-Pace holds only about 34% of its original value. That means buyers lose more than $30,000 in resale within 36 months, making it one of the worst new car investments in America. Reliability concerns add fuel to the fire. Extended warranty companies report that the E-Pace suffers electrical system failures at 5 times the rate of its rivals, while the ZF 9-speed transmission, usually reliable in other applications, shows unusually high failure rates here. Repair costs frequently climb past $2,000 per incident, and ownership satisfaction surveys consistently place the E-Pace near the bottom of the luxury compact SUV rankings. What makes this story even worse is the number of better choices at the same price point. For the cost of a new E-Pace, buyers could opt for a BMW X1, Audi Q3, or Mercedes GLA, all of which offer sharper performance, more refined interiors, and far stronger resale values. Even moving up to a larger BMW X3 or Mercedes GLC represents a smarter financial move. Jaguar has already begun scaling back the E-Pace as it prepares for its electric future, quietly admitting the model never lived up to expectations. For buyers, the lesson is simple. A luxury badge doesn't guarantee a luxury experience, and in the case of the E-Pace, it guarantees a financial nightmare. When you step back and look at these 13 vehicles, a clear pattern emerges. Whether it's a flashy badge disguising cheap parts, an outdated design still being sold as new, or a crossover with no clear purpose, they all share the same flaws: rapid depreciation, frustrating reliability issues, and poor long-term value. These aren't just bad cars, they're financial traps waiting for uninformed buyers to fall into. The good news is that awareness changes everything. By knowing which models to avoid, you're already ahead of the curve and protecting yourself from the mistakes that cost others tens of thousands of dollars in just a few years. The smartest car buyers don't just look at the sticker price. They ask how the car holds up after 3 years, how often it ends up in the shop, and what it will really be worth when it's time to sell. So if you're in the market for a new ride, take this list as a warning. Don't be seduced by discounts or swayed by marketing hype. Do the research, cross-shop the competition, and remember that a car should serve your life, not drain your wallet. And if you've owned one of these vehicles yourself, drop your story in the comments. I want to hear if your experience was as bad as the data suggests. Don't forget to subscribe for upcoming breakdowns on the best cars that actually hold their value and give you peace of mind, because making the right choice is the difference between years of regret and years of smart, stress-free driving.